All right, good to have everybody back and get to work. This is a really big game for us, big matchup. To have Oklahoma coming in here, who's playing great defense, has just changed their offensive staff and looks like changed their quarterback. So, and it sounds like getting some receivers healthy. So this is a big challenge for us. Excited to be back in front of our home crowd and get back on track. So. Gonna have a great week of practice.
Lane, you kind of touched on it right there, but it's reported that Joe John Finley will be the play caller for Oklahoma on Saturday. Just having that 1 year working with him in 2020, what are you kind of anticipating from him as far as what y'all will be up against?
Yeah, I don't think that really matters. That's kind of one of those things. I can understand where you think that would mean a lot. He didn't call plays here. He's got, different situation obviously than there. He was our tight end coach here, so I don't think that him having worked here before would help us at all figuring out what he's going to do. And with only a week to call plays, usually people just kind of, add a play here or there, but stay with the same system. You can't reinvent the system in 6 days.
I know you guys don't get into specifics on injuries and whatnot, but just after the bye, how are you guys doing health-wise as a whole?
I think the time off was good for a number of guys, whether they had been out or whether they had just been not full speed. Like a J.J. Pegues, for instance, Henry Parrish, both those guys played really hurt over the last game or two. So I think the time was good.
It's just in general, but with Oklahoma, given it happened yesterday, when y'all are preparing for a team and a change happens on the Sunday before you play up, does that change what y'all decide to do throughout the week? How does that affect, just from a broad strokes standpoint?
As far as the quarterback or the coach?
Or the offensive coordinator when they make a change?
Again, there's no way to predict that, and usually they don't change a whole lot when someone's been there and was the co-coordinator already. So, and even if there's nothing, you can't figure it out. So there's no magic formula to figure out what they're thinking. So, and again, it's not like Joe John was our coordinator here. He was the tight end coach. So it's not like, he's never called plays. So it's not like there's any film to go watch when he called plays.
Over the years, including this one, how have you seen Charlie kind of respond to criticism?
That's part of this profession. He grew up in it. And so he's fine, even though he's younger. He's been through it with his dad, and so it's always been part of this profession, more now than ever. It's not even what have you done in the game. It's, last week. Now it feels like what have you done that quarter of a game. So I think that's just part of the world we live in now, especially with social media. And, like someone said, you used to wait till that night to be able to see highlights of all the games, unless it was the, major game on. And now everybody sees good plays, bad plays immediately. So it just is what it is.
I know after the last game, you had said that it kind of was rough that you didn't have a game right away, that you had to kind of stew on it for a week. Just mentally, what was this last week like for you guys, and where do you feel like guys are at now?
Yeah, I think it was really tough initially because that game, it's one thing if you're going to a game and, you feel like the team wasn't ready and, just have these personnel issues all over the place. There's a game we went in, took the lead, thought guys responded to play well in a historically extremely hard place. I don't even know the percentages, but it's got to be one of, if not the hardest place percentage-wise to win and score points at night. And so I thought guys did a really good job in that, and then we let it get away at the end. Again, we had ball a couple times, I think 4-point lead, and could put the game away. And they made 2 big 4th down conversions, including a play of a lifetime by the quarterback, or else we would win the game. So that took a while. I do think, just kind of watching stuff this weekend for the first time, everybody's got problems. Doesn't seem like there's any, perfect teams. And I feel like maybe a year ago there were some, you probably thought at this time, with undefeated people that seem to, almost have perfect teams. I feel like there's a lot of issues with all teams. So the year before, we played a lot of close games last year here and won them, and now we had two that we were both very similar. -19 fourth downs and, one score games that went the other way, one play games.
Coach, Jackson Arnold finished the game for Oklahoma on Saturday. Is that who you think you'll be preparing for?
Yeah, I don't know. Both guys have played a lot this season, so we'll be ready for both.
You said in the off week you were going to do a lot of self-evaluating and everything. Any great revelations you can share with us from that self-scouting?
Not really. I mean, that's kind of competitive disadvantage to, answer that, but I understand the question. But yeah, I mean, we worked on things and maybe movements and even starting spots, but, competitively, we're not going to discuss that here.
Obviously, y'all put out that statement Friday before the LSU game of the feigned, fake, whatever, injuries. And obviously some games there that happened again over this weekend. Were there conversations y'all have had with the league or a bigger entity because, since then and between what happened Saturday?
What happened Saturday, referring to like the Alabama
Against
Tennessee game?
Alabama and some other games as well.
No, I haven't had any conversations with the league about that, and I don't know that I have much of a comment on that.
With Oklahoma having three different quarterbacks, and you mentioned earlier they're getting some receivers back, just how much does that affect your defense trying to get ready for possibly having to play some guys that they haven't seen on film yet?
I mean, we got a lot of stuff to work on ourselves, that we've worked on during the bye and focus on continuing to play really good run defense, play better pass defense, get less penalties, and be more, have a better rhythm on offense. I feel like we've been out of rhythm for a little bit here, and so we look to maintain those and focus more on ourselves, especially with a team offensively that has so many unknowns of this one. Who's going to, rarely do you not know who a quarterback is and not have a new guy calling plays that never called them. So we've chose to focus more on ourselves.
Yeah, I guess specifically about the two quarterbacks, I don't know how much film you've gotten to watch on either, but how much does the tape change between what their two quarterbacks bring?
I don't think they call a whole lot of different plays, but again, that wouldn't matter. They got a new play caller. So I think both guys move around really well. Both are big-time talents. So, we got to make sure we take care of ourselves and play really well.
And I guess about the bye week, we've talked so much about the physical rest, but kind of what Kat's asked is 1 week enough to mentally reset everything, or does 1 week just kind of fly by and it bleeds into the next?
I think it was good from the mental part. I think that just kind of a lot going on with the two losses that so easily could have won and had control of in both games, and to have played, we're over halfway through the season and only trailed for 2.5 minutes of any game of all games combined. So that part was a lot to deal with, because very easily could be undefeated or certainly with one loss. So I think it was good a little bit for everybody to get a little break.
Going back to that question that was asked earlier, just about the evaluations about the bye week. Last week, you were talking specifically about the offensive line. I guess, what was your evaluation of that position in particular? And when some of those guys trying to get back to full strength, do you anticipate some of those guys being a little bit, getting more snaps there on the offensive line, or?
Yeah, I mean, we've had, two returning starters that were starting, been out for a couple weeks now. So they both have done a little bit of stuff, and so we could be shuffling some different things because we need to play more consistent up there, and that was an issue last week in pass protection.
A couple of weeks since a procedure or whatever, do you anticipate Jaden Williams returning this regular season?
I definitely anticipate him returning this regular season, yes.
Have you ever seen a fan base throw bottles on the field and get a refs to change a call before?
I've seen them try. Never seen it work. Yeah, I would have really struggled with that happening. But I think the coach was very vocal about that, and yeah, that would have been really, really tough to deal with. All right, guys, thanks.